Hi, beautiful Virgo. It's Mary Ellen. Welcome back to Glorious Moonrise Cottage for your May 2018 Soul Tarot reading. I am real excited. Got a great continuation of the message from last month, and the cards that you are seeing are the cards that are for this month in May. So I'm going to toggle back. I just happen to have still in my viewfinder the cards since February, and I'm just going to show you. So here's February. Pretty amazing. Soul journey, becoming activated, going deep, deep, the foundation of art, and the outcome, another deeper step into the tradition of being an initiate in order to continue to perfect your energy. And if you look at the top row, perfecting your energy over the course of a year, shamanistically led journey with the sacred King Lug, the King of Art, here to remove the obstacles for you while you're on your soul journey on the human realm. If you look all the way to the bottom, that's a pretty astounding right-hand column and a lovely outcome. And then we have March. Deeper in, we see the Strength card coming over the top, the notion of the balancer of harmony, and once again, the perfecter of energy. Alerting us to the knowledge that we're standing on a new foundation and becoming a touchstone of wisdom in our own lives, coming into alignment with the sacred truth in our beings and having the ability to allow that to flow over the land and turn into our own river of energy. So that is the Woman of Art. I'm looking at the left-hand column. On the bottom, the human realm, still in this journey of perfecting your energy. Incredibly beautiful. And the Queen of Art, standing next to the augury of art on the spiritual realm, a prophecy about that which is to come and what is no longer of use to us falling away, because the base of those types of notions about ourselves, Spirit is saying, falling away. And the outcome card for March was about going on a sacred journey, an adventure of art in order to turn the sacred spiral of destiny. And April, I was playing with my camera. Can you tell the difference in the coloration? So there's April, having a direct communication with the spirit realm in order to come more closely in alignment with yourself. Really amazing. Continued journey, very much deeper. Really plunging in deep, Spirit says. Once again, we see this beautiful prophecy about art, the ability to manifest and bring forward out of the sacred cauldron what is meant to come. On the bottom row, we see the Liberator of your Devotion through a soul journey into this prophecy of destiny. And then more dialogue with the spirit realm, having come to us in a way, a completion of this stage. And on the spirit realm, that beautiful imaginer of harmony. Spirit has been talking a lot about the full moon. We're going to talk about it for May as well. Diving deep into the ocean of your spiritual understanding of self as a spirit being, reflected so well on the human realm. Swimming into the waters, if you will, of the Sacred Mother, who helps souls transition and bring with them the bounty that they need into the realm of the Keeper of Harmony. It was a really poetic reading. And the place in which you stand, your energy, was a major arcana card, the Spinner of Growth, signified by the Tree of Life. What a beautiful reading. And the outcome, the Guardian of the Gateway, the Guardian of Truth, the High Priestess, who gazes into the central core of your journey and comes as the outcome card, alerting you to the fact that you are standing at the gateway because of the journey you've had. You are arriving into a new place. And here we are in May. It's astounding to me. Look at that. So I've been chattering on, and I'm just realizing I haven't even said hello. So let me do that, and we'll just keep jumping in, all right? Spirit wants me, hey, everybody, in case you're new and you don't know, I'm a psychic intuitive, and I channel messages from Spirit through the cards. I've been asked to start with these images to help to help initiate the flow of energy into you as you visually take in the information. So welcome if you're new. Very excited to have you here. And to all the returning viewers and subscribers, welcome back. Once again, it's just great to be here with you. I always feel as though we are here together at Moonrise Cottage. So I am readying Moonrise Cottage to begin to accept people to come here and have an experience with your own visitation with the spirit realm, maybe with some initiation ceremonies. It'll be something we'll plan together. So just wish me luck. I'm in the beginning phases of that. Just also want to remind everyone that my website is up. It is moonrisecottagesoultarot.com. The link to that is below the video. Okay. You can also click on it from my landing page at YouTube. Let's see where it's on the photograph. The bottom right of the landing photo, there's a little tab there. You just click on it, it'll take you right to the website. You can find out all about the readings, the distance healing, the live stream community. All those things are there. All right, so check it out. And you can send me an email right from there. So, Virgo. For those of you who are new and don't know, I'm a Virgo. And wow, we've been on a journey. Look at that. Just look for a second at the center row of cards. Oh my gosh. And now look at the right-hand column. Really powerful this month. At each column as we go through the reading, I try to keep to 30 minutes. It's a challenge because there's so much information embedded here. So this year I'm asking you, take a look at the rows. Take a look at the columns. Take a look at the way the cards are aligned. And so I'm going to start this month a little differently because of the way these cards are coming out. Let's start at the bottom left corner. There we see the revelation of art. And you know, last month it was all about this artful journey. All about it. Queen of Art was there. King of Art was there. Adventure of Art. Lots going on. The art of being a spirit walker here in this realm. And the art of being able to initiate and direct the flow of the yin and yang energy between those two places. All right. So we see this beautiful revelation of art, something being revealed. It is a literal prophecy. And when we saw the King of Art in the reading in February, actually. Let me show you again. So there he is on the top right-hand corner. In this mystical shamanic journey that was announced way back at the beginning of the year, that was about his presence in order to clear away obstacles for your soul journey. And coming from this place of this new foundation that you had gained. And here we are in May, 3 months later. Look at that. The prophecy is being revealed of all that shamanic journeying. And that beautiful woman, the revelation of art, is a sacred goddess. She is a seer. And her lineage, her job, so to speak, Spirit says, let me show you the card. There she is, revelation of art. She worked in conjunction with the King of Art to name his lineage going forward. Very activated, dressed in her passion, pouring her wisdom and knowledge out into a bowl to share with others. And she has this beautiful barrel, jewel-encrusted barrel of water. Love, life, energy, abundance, transformation, shift, and change. That's amazing to me. If you look at the way the energy rises upward to the right, going through your position in the very middle of the reading. You are standing in a place of a lot of power that is a major arcana card, that is the guardian of the gateway, the High Priestess. You have moved into the realm. You are wielding her energy this month, in the month of May. And the prophecy that starts at the bottom of the reading and moves up through that energy, again, the second time already this year, another discussion about taking the step of the sacred initiate. And that was the outcome back in February. And that has transitioned through the reading all the way back to the month of May, where we see it show up as the last card on the sacred realm because of the prophecy that's been coming forward all these many months. And once again, that prophecy, that willingness to step into the place of the sacred initiate, stands next to another card that has to do with prophecy. So let's jump into the meat of the reading. I just couldn't resist the urge to go there right away. So the very first card is a major arcana card. Giving the reading its theme and its light and its energy, the things that Spirit wants to speak with you about today and for the month of May. That is the Liberator of Devotion. There's the portal, right? All souls who come to this realm must transition through the feminine portal. Another shaman, this time a male shaman, carrying the soul. In the ancient days, it was believed that the soul resided in the head. Look at that beautiful feminine energy deep out in the spiritual realm. I'm going to toggle over and have you look at it in conjunction with the rest of the cards. So, this card has to do discussions around the mythology of the card, if you will. It's all about change and transformation. No doubt we've been talking about that. The removal of blockages has arrived. That journey that was started in February, we are in the moment where the clearing of the way for liberating change is the topic of the month. And it has to do with a change in your consciousness, bringing a transformation. And we've been talking a lot about that. If you're new to the channel and you don't know, I'm begging you, go back a couple of months and watch some of the other readings from a few months back. Because these readings build upon, there's a story of human change and evolution, sacred change, that unfolds month to month. And the messages that channel through from spirit world, through me, through the illustrations, delineate that journey. And what the Spirit's saying, what the point is, month to month, how you can understand the shift and changes taking place, and the places in which you can really put your effort in any particular month in order to be in line with that which is attempting to unfold. Okay, so, the Liberator, also called the Blue Hag, is here in the image of the Sheila Nagi, which was a very early understanding. All beings return to the earth through her upon their death. This is a two-way gate. We die, in a sense, to our personal life, and yet we are born to a greater life. And the illustration is talking about, obviously, the spirit realm, how we see ourselves, how we experience our transition. So this is about, being eternal and renewing yourself through countless ages. She is the grandmother of all living beings, the lover of all life. And she takes what is outworn and renews it by her action. The Liberator of Devotion releases the soul to unconditional love and liberation if we can humbly face and befriend our death. And Spirit's talking about the little blue death. You're being asked, what do you need to let go of at this point? So death is literal and figurative. Okay, so if you don't know, this beautiful image of the Sheila Nagi, this image was found just very much like this carved into the south-facing wall of churches in the Celtic lands when the Christian religion began to move across Europe and churches began to be built, many of them in the same place as the sacred sites of the ancient Celts. These figures, okay, Spirit's talking about the ancient religion, meaning belief system. Spirit says, some would call it paganism. The things that those ancient peoples knew, the deep truth that they understand about existence, about their particular existence and how they were in line with the spirit realm. When Christianity came, or, sort of any religion, it wanted to take control of people's minds and hearts in order to entice them, Spirit says, to become invested in a power system. Often that didn't really have anything to do with sacred spirituality. It was about control over people, at least in those days. And, no offense to anybody, but if you really look at the history, you see what that was all about. And it's not just the Christians who were participating in that kind of behavior. So there's a return of this kind of notion into our awareness about ourselves, about our transition, about the fact that all things come and go, Spirit says. And how appropriate it was. Nobody knows who put these carvings on those churches. There's no written word about it. So there's a great mystery, because clearly this is what most people would call a pagan symbol on the south-facing wall of a church, aligned with the sun. Fascinating. And this is the theme of the reading. This notion about coming through the portal of life and death and being liberated into the transformation that we've been talking about, I've been talking about all year. This year, pardon me. So the very next card, look at that. The High Priestess, the guardian of truth, the guardian of the gateway, stands fully invested in her power. And there's the Sacred Mother. The High Priestess comes to help you make your transition into the prophecy that I talked about in the beginning of the reading. Really beautiful. So, being liberated, your devotion, you then walk through the gateway, of course. In a sense, in this reading, Spirit says it's one and the same. And you know what? I'm going to toggle over. Wanting you to understand how closely you personally are aligned with what is happening in the spiritual realm and the message the Spirit's trying to come forward with in terms of messaging this month. It's not one and the same, but Spirit says it is one and the same. You are very closely aligned with this notation about liberation and shift and change in order to go forward in a new form, as we've been talking about. So the first card on the human walk is the revelation of art. I'm not going to go over that again, but it's an amazing story about this woman. And so the notation of the king of art, the queen of art, all these people who've shown up in your readings over the course of the last months, Spirit's just reminding us that those prophecies are moving forward, coming deeper into alignment with your human self. The next card is the dialogue of skill. That prophecy, the first step on the prophecy that comes from the beautiful goddess in the revelation of art, is a sacred dialogue. And because it is here, sitting below the guardian of truth, it has a special impact. So that's Merlin. Merlin came to a point in his life where he became fatigued and battle-weary and overwhelmed. And he began to just kind of wander. These days we would call it PTSD or something like that, being dissociative after a battle, that kind of stuff. He went through so much in his life. He needed some help. And this famous poet came to his rescue. He was a good friend of his, and he went and found him, put his arm around him, and basically reminded him about the creation of the world, of his life, of all the things that have transpired, and all the knowledge that Merlin had taken up in order to assist Merlin to reintegrate to his deeper self and to his purpose and into his life once again, having been journeyed out in a way that was very deep for Merlin. So this is all about reintegration. I'm going to toggle back and show you the cards, all right? So the dialogue of skill, very skillful dialogue with the spirit realm, because this card is sitting right underneath the High Priestess, the guardian of truth, the guardian of the gateway. And so the prophecy about revelation, about the art of coming back into alignment with your sacred self. It's a very powerful unfolding of the cards this month, Virgo. Please understand that you are going to feel this and you are going to have some challenges. We'll get to that in a second. But sitting right next to the dialogue of skill is the dialogue of art. And we see Merlin and his sister. These are, in a sense, their companion cards. They give reference to the same story about Merlin having to go through a process of reintegration with himself. And we can see that his garment is blue, which means it's a transformative process. And when we look at the cards that are sitting above these two dialogue cards, the Spirit's saying the notion comes to its full resting place. There's very deep journeying this month. And again, the notion of the full moon, I think it's actually full moon today while I'm doing the reading. So Merlin, that's you in this reading, in a sense, having the assistance because of this beautiful revelation and the clearing away of obstacles and the liberation of your devotion. Now you come into deep communication with the deepest part of yourself on the human realm, coming into some awareness about the shift and change that is your destiny and how your human walk reflects your soul journey. So just take a moment and take a look at the cards on the top row and how they reflect what is happening below. So, on this beautiful sacred dialogue, and I think we've seen this card before, the dialogue of art is about Merlin and his sister. And they were very deeply, deeply devoted to each other in their lifetimes. And when Merlin came to this place of needing to be reintegrated after having been lost, his sister built for him this beautiful tower. In order to assist him, there he is, through the apertures of the moon, again, Spirit's bringing the notation there, to give him a very sacred dwelling place through which the sacred energy and the illumination of the moon could flow, to give him the ability to look out into the world from many different perspectives and enter and come and go, Spirit says, from many different doorways. Part of the process of reintegration in this very deep way is being able to come into a new resting place within yourself. And certainly, I have some stories to tell about what the month of April was like for me and where it has brought me. And it really truly is a reintegration. And, in a way, baby steps. I'm a human being like everybody else. I have challenges. Problems arise. Conflicts arise. I feel a little lost in those moments and frightened and scared. But there's an amazing process going on for me that has to do with family. A lot of reintegration, things I never imagined, and in a beautiful way, kind of like this. They almost look like they're just telepathically communicating. The notion, of course, of yin and yang. Let me just sit in my place and be true to what I know. Because I have been liberated. My devotion, my ability to come into compassion and love and act from that place, definitely increasing in a way that is vastly different than it was a year ago. So this journey that we've been on, I'm having more and more trust in it, and I'm urging you to do the same. Take baby steps. Don't expect huge change, but in the little moments, when you interact with yourself and those around you. Understand, this is where you are. It's very liberating and extremely powerful all at the same time, in a quiet way. Coming deep inside to journey there and reintegrate and live out this beautiful prophecy that came from the goddess who was revealing the art of coming in to your place, your sovereignty. In a way, if you look at the human cards, we see this beautiful goddess of sovereignty there, and basically her prophecy is, wishes come true for those people who keep their sacred longing alive. The prophecy has to do with coming into your heart's deepest desires. In order for that to happen, there has to be a lot of internal dialogue and a reclaiming and a reintegration of yourself in a way that is deep and profound. Reintegrating with your heart and coming to an awareness of what it is the heart really yearns for. One of the things I love about this reading is the bridge card this month. So, look at the card sitting right above the beautiful goddess of sovereignty. Look at that, Virgo! Oh my gosh. I think this is the first time I've ever seen this come out for Virgo. I love it. I love it. Okay, so that's a major arcana card. That is the challenger of will. Because we are earth signs, because of what's happening with Pluto, and what the destiny is of the earth beings, Spirit says, this is an amazing card to have as the card that signifies the transition from the earthly realm, the walk you're having, that aligns it with the spirit effort that's going on in the spirit realm. So that is a soul literally releasing its fears one at a time. I'm going to read a little bit about the mythology of this card because it's really important. So there's the human realm. There we are sitting in the human realm. So given the fact that Pluto is stationed in the first house of Capricorn, it is affecting the entire planet because Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign. We see all the upheaval. We see that there are new forms. People are demanding justice, demanding change in power structures. This reading that comes out with all of this discussion and prophecy about reintegrating with yourself and your energy standing at the gateway, and the goddess of the gateway, the guardian of truth, looks directly into the challenger of will. It's given me really literally a shiver. It's intense this month, really beautiful and intense. The challenger of will is about the notion of fear and bondage and extreme challenges. We have this beautiful God, the God of the earth creatures. So Nunos, I never know if I'm saying it correctly, sitting below. Okay, so that blue God is an image of being bound in the earthly realm, while the soul above breaks free from the bondage of ancestral patterns and fears. So I'm going to show you this one more time. Okay, and then I'll go back and we'll read some more from the text. Check it out. There's the earth god holding a piece of jewelry called a torque, and being antlered, okay, holding a snake in one hand, shift and change. The snakes going through an evolutionary process every year, shedding their skin. And there's all the fears. Count them all up. How many do we have? What keeps our soul in bondage? What keeps our human life in bondage? So, when I see this come through like this, with the discussion that's been coming out, and this is sitting like this, a prophecy, a revelation about releasing fear and coming out of bondage, Nothing makes me more excited. And, like I was saying, there are things going on in my life that have challenged me. In the traditional tarot, this is the devil card. It's about being challenged. And in the traditional notion, we're thinking about human debauchery, spirit saying. It's not about that. When you're in the state of being and you're locked in there, could be, but really the energy has to do with being released from bondage, from our fears. And the prophecy is there. They are aligned. Human realm transitioning through this idea, okay? So look at the cards as they align and don't be scared. To me, this is the best possible outcome for the journey that we've been on, okay? So the challenger of will depicts the god Cernunnos sitting in the earthly realm while the soul breaks free from the bondage of its ancestral patterns. Cernunnos was the great master of the animals. His antlered head caused him to be demonized by Christianity and become associated with its anti-divinity, the devil. However, he is actually an active opponent of restriction, of fear, and of oppression of all kinds. And in sacred legend, he and the figures who derive from him track down those who violate the laws of life. He holds the torque of civilized human beings in his right hand and clasps the head of the serpent, an emblem of renewal and animal consciousness. The challenger of will makes the soul question what is accepted and find true release from fear, speaking words of liberation and wisdom to all who are willing to hear. So the question is, how are you limiting yourself? And the start of this reading was a discussion about fear. And I'm going to toggle back, but I want you to see how the guardian, I love her, the High Priestess, in a sense, the way the cards are lined up, right? Actually, it's this way. And she looks directly into the challenger of will, carrying forward this notion of liberation, being liberated from your fears and those things that keep you in bondage. That is cause for an enormous amount of celebration, in my opinion. And the first card above that, so look at that left-hand column. Something being revealed, right, about your sacred lineage. In these moments of reintegration and liberation, standing at the gateway in order to release your fears and come out of bondage, transitioning immediately on the spirit realm into this beautiful foundation of battle. That is a sacred warrior. And this warrior, the story of this card, you see the spirit realm in the background? That's what that's about. This warrior has been through a certain type of initiation. He stands on a new foundation because he has come through a rite of passage. I'm getting choked up again. Wow. Please write to me on the thread below the video. I want to know what you guys are experiencing and how you're coming deeper into yourself. My journey is deepening in a way that is profound because suddenly I have a new type of inner ability. And I know that it's different from where I was last year. And it is causing an enormous amount of fear and aggravation and etc. to come to the surface. And each time those things happen, I have the ability to transform it and release it. And when that happens, when I'm willing, beautiful things happen. It's not just about being released from bondage. It's about stepping onto a new foundation because we have come through a rite of passage. Virgo. I feel like I should be whispering. This is really profoundly intense. Right next to that, another prophecy, the augury of art. This is about the beginning of happiness, the beginning of being able to go to the sacred cauldron and manifest that which we can imagine. And we've been coming through this journey that has to do with the imagination of harmony, abundance. Again, water, a water element, earth and water flowing over the earth. Spirit's talking about, poetically. There's a very deep message in this reading. Allow yourself some time after I finally be quiet and end the video. Take a look at these cards and how the energy rises in the columns and through the rows so that you can see the deepest possible meaning. Okay? The beginning of happiness. And coming through this rite of passage, released from our bondage, because we've been liberated and reintegrated into a deeper place within ourselves on the spirit realm, because we've done that work on the human realm, we see our spirit self coming in to the next phase of development, making another sacred step, another form of sacred initiation, receiving the sacred amulet, and being willing to have gone through this journey takes us to another new place. That is why the first card in the spirit realm is about the foundation of battle, because it was a very epic, sacred battle, a rite of passage that we had to come through in order to reach these moments. So this is going to be the journey of May. And I don't know about you guys. April was really intense for me. Oh my gosh, so much challenge. I'm dying to hear what's been going on for you. So I believe that what's happening is where I'm sensing myself moving very much deeper into a certain part of my being, the integration, the awareness of that. And as I integrate, things really are literally manifesting around me. I wish I had time to tell you what's going on. It's kind of exciting. Spirit wants me to tell you the story. I don't have time. Maybe in the next live stream, okay? If you haven't signed up for the live stream community, please do it. There's so much to talk about. Go to the website and click live stream, okay? That's all you got to do. It's very easy. Okay, so the dedicator of lore, the sacred initiate who receives this powerful amulet, the information that is meant to be given when you offer yourself and you literally go through the sacrifices that are meant to happen as these prophecies go forward. Amazing. So just look at the bottom corners of the reading and how the energy rises through you as the guardian of truth. That is the point of your mission this month, to be the guardian of truth. And then, of course, Virgo, I think we've talked about this, the outcome is the woman of battle. And look at her. Look at the way she looks across the center row of cards and everything that is transpiring. It's going to be a really powerful month in May, setting us up for Spirit all of a sudden been really quiet this year. All of a sudden talking about the eclipses that are coming. So it's on. Spirit says, again, check it out. The beautiful woman of battle. You know, there's lots of ways through this deck to display the many facets, if you will, of a Virgo. But this is a really wonderful one. You know, just about being in this place of sacred battle. So we see the yin and yang in the cards. We see the outcome as the woman of battle who's brave enough and self-possessed enough to be the first one into the gap. And we see her companion, the foundation of battle, the male energy of that. And it's interesting to me that Spirit's saying she is the human reflection of the guardian of truth, the guardian of the gateway, the sacred goddess. Virgo, have a wonderful month. I can't wait to hear your stories. If you're willing to share the things that are happening for you, please do. And I may as well put a little bit on the thread. I always sort of have to be careful with confidentiality, but I'm wishing you well, and I'm thanking you for the hard work you're doing, because I know it is hard work to release yourself from the inner bondage of fear and jump into the gap in your own life in order to have this incredible journey. Have a wonderful month. I will be extremely eager to speak with you again in June, and I will sure be thinking of all of my brothers and sisters out there. Thanks, everyone.